Hi everyone, thanks for watching. This yellow scrubby was such a hit before that I decided to go ahead and make another scrubby. But this time I'm going to use the green sparkle. And this is the yarn that I purchased that has the pattern on it, the scrubby yarn. It's not the sparkle one. There's a picture of the scrubby that we're going to make today. And the pattern is on the back of that label. This yarn was hard to see, so I decided to go ahead and use the green sparkle scrubby yarn that I had left over from before. And there's the pattern on the back. So the green one, you will need a wide-eyed needle, blunt edge, to weave in the ends. Here are some other wide-eyed needles just to show you they come in different sizes. And scissors, of course. Stitch markers, I love stitch markers. Can't live without them. So, with this green sparkle scrubby and the hook that we're going to be using in this particular example is going to be an eye, which is 5.5 millimeters, also a size 9. The scrubby that you saw in the beginning in the picture, I actually used a size G. I went smaller. But for this video, I'm using the eye so that you can see the loops better. All right, to get started here, we're going to make our slip knot. I'm just going to wrap it around my finger twice and grab the thread in the back, pull it over the thread in the front, then grab that new thread in the back and just pull it over my finger. And take the hook, just go into that space right there and tighten it up. There's several ways to make a slip knot, and that's just one of them. So now we're going to chain 4. And then we're going to make a circle with that chain. And what we're going to do, there's our 4 chains. We're going to put our hook into that first chain. And once we get it in there, we grab the working thread. We pull it back through that chain. So we have 2 loops on the hook. And then we pull it through the other thread on the hook. So now you've made a circle. And what we're going to be doing here is we're going to work inside the circle. But first we're going to chain 3. There's 1, 2, and 3. Okay. Now we're going to do a double crochet. I'm going to go ahead and put a stitch marker in here at the top of the chain 3, and you'll see why in just a minute. So I'm not going to work my tail in. If you've crocheted before and you like working in the tail, you're more than welcome to go ahead and do that. I'm just not going to do it for this video. So now I'm working my double crochet. I wrap the thread around the hook. I got to move the tail out of the way here. Put it into the center of that circle, pick up the thread again. Easy for me to say, not to do. And bring it back through the circle, pick up the thread again, go through 2 loops on the hook, pick up the thread again, go through 2 loops. There's your double crochet. Now, of course, there's quite a gap between the chain 3 and the double crochet. Chain 3 is going to act as a double crochet. And all you have to do is just push that double crochet over closer to the chain 3 as you start working around. Just pull it a little bit closer like that. So we're going to be making a total of 11 double crochets. And then when you're done, when you count all the double crochets plus the chain 3, you'll have 12 posts, if you want to call them posts. So I'm making another double crochet. And I'm going to make one more, wrap the yarn around, go through the center, pick up the yarn, bring it back through, and pick up the yarn again, go through 2, pick up the yarn again, and go through 2. So there you have a chain 3 and 2 double crochet. So go ahead and finish so that you have 11 double crochets and a chain 3, and then I will meet you back around at the end, and I'm just pushing them over so I'll have plenty of room to get all those double crochets. Okay, so we've come around with our 11 double crochets and our chain 3, and we're going to do our next row. First, we're going to slip stitch into the top of the chain 3 where our stitch marker is. Just put the hook through that loop, grab the yarn, pull it through, and pull it through the other loop on the hook. There's your slip stitch. Now we can take our stitch marker out, and we will do a chain 3 with a meow, with 2 meows. So there's 1, 2, 3 chains and 3 meows. Perfect. Okay, now we're going to do a double crochet into that same stitch where we did the chain 3. But first I want to put the stitch marker in the top of that chain 3. And now we're going to go ahead and do that double crochet right there in the same stitch. And again, that chain 3 acts as a double crochet. So there you have 2 posts in the same stitch. Now we're going to go to the next stitch, which is the top of the double crochet from the previous row, which is that one right there. And we're going to do 2 double crochets in the top of that, or inside that stitch. And we're going under the 2 strands. And work our double crochet. Let's try that again. Here we go. All right, go through 2 and go through 2. Now we're going to do another double crochet in that same stitch. See how it's easier to see? And there we go. Now we've got 2 double crochets in that next stitch. So there is 4 posts all together. And again, that chain 3 is acting as a double crochet. We're going to do this all the way around, and we should end up with 24 posts by the time we come around to the other side. I'm going to do one more. And one more double crochet in that same stitch, and I'll meet you back around at the end. So we've come around, and we're going to slip stitch into the top of the chain 3 right where our stitch marker is. Just do your slip stitch and then chain 3. 1, 2, and 3, this time without any meows. And now we're taking out our stitch marker, putting it into the top of the chain 3, and we're going to make a double crochet into the same stitch where our chain 3 is. And there's our double crochet. And now we're going to go into the next stitch and do 2 double crochets. And you can see it there. We're going to go under the 2 strands of that yarn, which is right above the previous double crochet in the previous row. So we're going to do 2 double crochets in this stitch. Here's the first one, and here's the second one. And there you have 4 posts so far. We're going to do this all the way around, and I will meet you back at the end. So we've finished our 48 double crochets, and we're going to do round 4, or row 4, which is our last row, and then we're going to make a little loop after the end of row 4. So first we're going to slip stitch like normal into the chain 3 from the beginning. Then we're going to chain 1, and then we're going to do another slip stitch into that same stitch where we did the other slip stitch. Okay, so we did a slip stitch, a chain 1, and a slip stitch again. Now the pattern is going to change. Okay, so I took my stitch marker out after I did my slip stitch, 1 chain, and a slip stitch. Okay, so now the pattern changes, and what we're going to do is and I'm going to look at the top because you can see the chain's pretty good. We're going to skip this one. We're going to do 5 double crochets under these 2 pieces of yarn. 5 double crochets. We're going to skip that one, and we're going to slip stitch in that one. Skip that one, 5 double crochets, skip, slip stitch, skip, 5 double crochets, skip, slip stitch. So that's what the pattern is all the way around. It does say do it 11 times, but I think it's actually going to be 12 times if you go all the way around to the end. But I will stop after doing this 11 times and we'll pick up from there. But right now we did our slip stitch, we did our chain 1 and our slip stitch. So now I'm going to skip this one, and I'm going to do 5 double crochets in this one. So I'm picking up the yarn, I'm going under those 2 pieces of yarn right there, which is the top of this double crochet from the previous row. Pick up the yarn, go back through, pick up the yarn, go through 2, pick up the yarn, go through 2. There's 1 double crochet. I'm going to do 4 more right in that same spot. So here's 2. And here's 3. And 4. And 1 more, 5. And what this is going to do is create a scalloped edging. So it's going to kind of look like a flower. Okay. So now we're going to skip this one, and we're going to slip stitch in this next one. So we're just going to put our hook right under those 2 strands, grab your yarn, come back through, and come through the loop on the hook. Okay, now we're going to skip this one and do 5 double crochets in this one. So here we go again with 5 double crochets. This 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay. So you see how this pattern is coming? And then when we come back around, we are going to make a little loop for hanging. You can make the loop if you want. If not, you can just finish off. All right, so we're going to do this pattern 11 times, and I will meet you back around somewhere around right here. Okay, so I've come around. I've actually done 11 of these scallops. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. We have the last one left. So I did the 5 double crochets. I skipped one and I did a slip stitch. And now I'm going to skip this one, do 5 more double crochets. 1. Yes, I can go a little faster than I normally do. 2. 3. 4. And 5. Okay. Now we're going to skip that one, and then we are going to do a slip stitch where we did our first slip stitch. So we're just going to go right in here, grab the yarn, pull it through, and pull it through. Now we've got 12 scallops around. Now if you want to make this smaller, just get a smaller crochet hook. And we're going to make our loop at this point. So now that we've slip stitched, we're going to chain 10, and then we're going to slip stitch in the last stitch of row 4. So now we're going to chain 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And now we're going to slip stitch right back in here. And there you've got your little loop to hang it with. And to finish this off, I'm going to do this thread one more time. Take my scissors. Okay. And then just pull it through and tighten it up. Weave in the ends. And there you have your scrubby. Your little dish scrubby. Perfect for St. Patrick's Day, which is right around the corner. To weave in our ends, just get your wide-eyed blunt needle. Okay, and just weave it through any of these threads here. You're just going to weave it in. Pull it through. I'm going to come back. Right here. I'm just going to go that way. And then I'm going to come back this way. And then back right here. And just go under that loop to tighten it up. Maybe one more time. And then take that out. And then do the same thing with this. And just do the same thing and just weave that in, and then you'll be done. So this is the actual Scrubby done with a G-size hook, so it's a little bit smaller, and I think it's a more perfect size. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you enjoyed making this Scrubby, and please subscribe. Thank you all so much.